Very rarely do things go wrong where some single big incident happens. Almost all the time, there are lots of little things that interact with one another.
Today on the Morning Edition, a hike in Juneau ends in tragedy when two cruise ship passengers lost their footing. What troopers say happened on the mountainside, and we speak with professional guides about steps you can take to stay safe. Then an update to the Anchorage Fire Department's food drive last week. They had a goal of just under 3,000 pounds of food and blew way past that. We'll see how our community turned out for this event. Plus, while the main voting for Fat Bear Week starts next week, today and tomorrow, you can cast your vote for favorite cub. We'll let you know how as the Morning Edition starts right now. Good Thursday morning, everyone. Thanks for waking up with us today. We get so excited about Fat Bear Week, Aaron.
Yeah, who are you going for this year?
I used to always love Holly. Is she still around?
I don't know if Holly's still around. I know Grazers always tends to be the big winner. I'm a big 151 fan, which is Walker.
Walker, yeah, we know you love Walker.
A lot of
but
good
it's the
bears,
Cubs
though.
right now, the little babies. So those are always cute.
Yeah, that's going to be, and that's this week, and then the
Today
actual
and tomorrow.
voting
Yeah.
starts next week for
Yeah.
the actual the bigger bears.
Yeah, and of course we'll bring you all the details from that.
Yeah, but we are waking up this morning to those cloudier conditions making a return to South Central. We are expected to see some isolated to scattered showers build inland throughout the remainder of today. And of course, we're still favoring a very heavy rainfall that's going to build into southeast throughout the remainder of this week. So while we are waking up this morning to fairly dry conditions across South Central, keep in mind we will see some of those isolated to scattered showers throughout the day. 51 is where we're currently sitting at. You can see for the most part, not significant when it comes to the amount of rain we're seeing. Most of the activity is out towards Prince William Sound, portions of the northern Susitna Valley, holding on to some steady light rain this morning. And then embedded within that, we're also seeing some of that isolated activity that's going to stay with us across the rest of South Central. Out towards southeast, the high wind warning that has been allowed to expire, but we do have a flood watch in effect, primarily for the southern panhandle. This is where we could see several inches of rainfall through weeks in. Now, the flood watch goes into effect at 10 p.m. tonight and then lasts until Saturday evening. This is where storm totals between today and Saturday could total about 4 to 6 inches of rain for the southern half of the panhandle. So flooding from that excessive rainfall will be possible. And if you keep in mind, earlier this week, Ketchikan saw upwards of about 7 inches of rainfall. So we are going to continue to hold on to this very heavy rain as we close out this week and welcome in the start of next week. Notice again, as you head south of Juneau, this is where we're going to easily see that potential for some locations approaching near 5+ inches of rainfall. Temperatures for the most part will remain fairly uniform for southeast with that heavy rain to be expected. It will still be gusty today with winds upwards of about 40 miles per hour throughout the afternoon and evening hours. Forecast for you coming up.
In this morning's top story, a cruise ship stop in Juneau turned deadly after two men hiking the Mount Roberts Trail slipped and fell down a steep mountainside. One man survived with minor injuries, but the other did not. Troopers say the call came in just after 8 on Tuesday. The body of 36-year-old Britton Poole of Texas was recovered by drones and later sent to the state medical examiner's office. The other man was rescued by Juneau Mountain Rescue. Both were passengers visiting the area on a cruise ship stop. Following Poole's death on Tuesday, expert guides provided us with tips on the best ways to stay safe while enjoying Alaska's backcountry. Experts say always tell someone where you're going and when you plan to be back. Pack essentials like a map, compass, bear spray, first aid supplies, and extra food and water. Be ready for rapid weather changes and layers and rain gear. Stick to marked trails, watch your footing, and make noise to avoid surprising wildlife. With limited cell service, consider carrying a locator beacon or satellite phone.
Have a skill set that meets the conditions of where you're at. You know, if you're going up some pretty steep climb or doing glacier travel, have a skill set that meets that, have equipment that meets that. It's great to have a GPS and a sat phone with you, but neither of those things will start a fire.
If you're by yourself, your risks of finding safety and having care the chances are smaller. So always having something with you to make sure that you're going to be hydrated and fed and can get yourself stable in an emergency.
Experts remind hikers if conditions look unsafe, turn back, and you should know basic first aid and how to signal for help. Anchorage police say a man is now in custody following a deadly shooting on North Post Road near First Avenue Sunday morning. Charging documents say 19-year-old Jacob Berkey admitted to detectives that he shot 26-year-old Buena Naleaha as he drove past her walking down the road. The charging documents say Berkey admitted to rolling down the window and firing his pistol at her, pulling the trigger 5 times. Naleaha was taken to the hospital where she was pronounced dead. Berkey has been charged with second-degree murder. He has no criminal history in Alaska. A woman is dead after getting stuck in a boat propeller in Napakiak. The Department of Public Safety says a man was operating an 18-foot bottom all-weld boat with 33-year-old passenger Adriana Tinker from Kasigluk near the Napakiak Slough. Both boaters were thrown overboard after the vessel's motor struck something underwater. Tinker caught in the boat's propeller. She later was taken to a local medical clinic and was ultimately declared dead. The state medical examiner's office will perform an autopsy on Tinker's body. The man was uninjured. Just weeks into the new school year, the Anchorage School District is grappling with another funding blow. Officials confirmed yesterday that $3.3 million in federal grant money has been cut from the Academies of Anchorage program. It was being used to fund 6 career technical education teachers, in addition to 8 academic coaches within the academies. The district said they do plan to appeal the decision, with the ASD superintendent saying he's contacting legislators.
To say that this is a setback is an understatement. It is a setback, but it doesn't mean that we can't emerge from the situation stronger than before. Now, we live in an environment where all sorts of stuff can be misconstrued in the press and Twitter and that sort of thing, and the last thing I would want to do is to alarm our families more than they need to be alarmed about what this news means and what it does not mean.
According to the Trump administration, funds that were reserved for that program have been reserved for school-based mental health. The University of Alaska Fairbanks is reacting to an $8.8 million funding cut announced by the Trump administration last week. UAF officials say the loss will impact 2 campuses, Bristol Bay and the community in Fairbanks. The funds were part of a federal program supporting Alaska Native Hawaiian, and rural students. The administration says the money will be redirected to other initiatives as part of a push to end discrimination in federally funded programs. UAF leaders call the cut unexpected and warn it will directly affect students who rely on services at the impacted campuses.
I don't feel like it halts the expansion or growth. I think we just need to take a different path now. So we've been presented with a challenge. We'll face that challenge head on, and we'll find a new direction to continue that growth, because it's very important to us and the University of Alaska Fairbanks.
The UAF says while the cuts won't affect scholarships, they come at a time the university looks to expand Indigenous studies. Students at West Valley High in Fairbanks took the lead in a candidate forum for the upcoming school board election. The event featured lightning rounds and long-form questions on issues like start times, bullying, vaping, immigration raids, and school safety. The Performing Arts Center was packed with students, teachers, board members, and the public. All the questions were student prepared, including one on representation for people of color in classroom materials.
I don't think they really answered my question. I think they kind of just said, your voice is heard. I don't think they really put a solution to my question.
It really helps students understand how important it is for to get out and vote, and it helps us kind of get a head start on practicing our civil duties.
Students get to see and get to ask questions and kind of voice their opinions about the policies that are put in place and give the students a voice.
This is the 11th year of the event. Election Day is on October 7th. Earlier this month, the Anchorage Fire Department aimed to raise 2,977 pounds of food in remembrance of the people who died on September 11th. Danny Tompkins has a look at the incredible response of the Alaska community.
The Anchorage Fire Department wrapped up its 9/11 fundraiser with the Food Bank of Alaska, and the results are in. They didn't just meet their goal, they blew past it.
The goal of just under 3,000 pounds was far exceeded as 4,637 pounds were collected, providing almost 4,000 meals. According to the Anchorage Fire Department, the timing of this food drive could not have been better planned.
And we walked into the area where they distribute food. The shelves were literally empty in there. And so this food drive came at a really critical time for the food bank.
The items given to the food bank will soon be on the shelves, available for families to pick up.
I think people using our services are just feeling relief, or at least that's what I hope they feel. I think we've all had times where we've struggled in our lives, and it's great to know that the community support is there to help people, whether they need help for a week or a year.
With the amount of support this drive received, there is hope that the food drive will continue on in future years.
Yeah, with this being our first 9/11 food drive, we would love to see it continue and just become a tradition. Fire service is very traditional, and so once you get something going, it often continues. And knowing what we know now about the needs in the community and how empty those shelves get, I think it's going to inspire us to probably do this a little more often. Perhaps next year when we do this, we can expand it into the outlying communities and maybe make it a statewide food drive.
So while the fire may be out on this year's fundraiser, the impact will last long after, filling these shelves and helping families across Alaska. Danny Tompkins, Alaska's news source.
And if you remember yesterday, we told you about a special procedure a bear at the Alaska Zoo is undergoing. Well, today we get to find out how it went and how Kova is doing when the morning edition returns.
Rain remains with us across many areas of the state, particularly for southeast. I'll have more on what to expect through the days ahead, but first at sunrise, 7:35 in Anchorage, 6:34 in Juneau. Your full forecast is next.
Well, welcome back on this Thursday morning. Let's get a check of the weather. Aaron, it was really beautiful yesterday with all that sunshine.
Yeah, gorgeous too, with those temperatures topping out in the lower 60s, which is about 2 degrees below our record high that was set back in, I believe it was 2018. Now, as we continue to transition into that fall season, we are watching some cool weather, and yes, some snow is returning to areas of the slope. Heavy rain and gusty winds remain for southeast, with fall officially beginning as we welcome in next week. We're going to transition from summer into fall, which does begin as we welcome in your Monday right around, I do believe it's right around 10:19 in the morning. That should be highlighted on the fall equinox. But that does start next Monday as we officially welcome in a brand new season. Temperatures across the state this morning, anywhere from the 30s along the slope to the 40s and 50s elsewhere. We're still favoring rain as you head out towards the Aleutians. Areas of the interior holding on to some early morning rain showers, and of course that heavy activity continues to build into southeast. And when we look at the surface, you can see we've got that trough system, that troughing still with us across the state. We've got areas of low pressure out towards the Aleutians that's going to keep wet and windy weather through a good portion of the Aleutians. We've got an area of low pressure out towards the Alcan border that's going to keep some light snow in the forecast as you head across areas east of the Dalton Highway. And of course that heavy activity continues to build into southeast through the remainder of this week on into the weekend. We'll also favor some increasing rain showers across coastal areas of south central, while inland locations will hold on to that isolated to scattered activity sticking around here over the next couple of days. Notice that chance for some snow as you head off towards the north. Just some very light accumulation to be expected with that. But we are still holding on to this wet weather pattern, but notice out towards southeast. This is where we're going to take the brunt of that rainfall potential, where we could see some locations topping out near, if not above, 5 inches of rainfall through the end of this week. That all thanks to this troughing that we do have across the state, but also notice in the upper levels of the atmosphere, we've got this winds coming in, pulling in moisture, plenty of moisture coming in from the southwest that's riding right into southeast. And this is why we're going to continue to hold on to ample moisture that's going to build into the panhandle, which will lead to some flooding concerns. Statewide, we are expected to see see the return to somewhat cooler conditions as we welcome in next week. In fact, for Fairbanks, you can see while we do make a run near 60 today, through the rest of the week, temperatures actually do begin to drop. By Monday, we'll see those temperatures sitting in the upper 40s as we officially begin a brand new season. And of course, we'll see some isolated showers in the forecast. And speaking of that rain, here across South Central, we'll see that better chance for rain to close out this week out towards coastal areas, while inland locations by Friday into Saturday, we could see some locations approaching near a half an inch of rainfall. So not too terribly wet, but we will keep those daily rain showers in the forecast for today. Those temperatures warming, mid to upper 50s to be expected. And again, you'll be dodging a few showers throughout the remainder of today. Isolated showers also carrying us into our Friday. We'll see those temperatures mid to upper 50s looking likely as we officially welcome in the start of fall. We'll see a high of 56.
I'll take a look at Kova. She may be one of the biggest residents at the Alaska Zoo, and she is normally super active and always up for a snack. But even polar bears can have dental problems. When the 4-year-old started showing signs of pain, zookeepers discovered something much more serious than a simple toothache. And as Lauren Maxwell reports, that led to a one-of-a-kind root canal.
Polar bears Cranberry and Kova have long been favorites at the Alaska Zoo. Best buddies, they share an enclosure filled with toys and treats and a large pool where Kova in particular likes to take her morning swim. But it wasn't so long ago this normally playful 4-year-old was feeling under the weather.
Kova is a very interactive and busy bear, and she just seemed kind of off. She was pawing at her mouth a little bit. Good girl.
Curator Sam Lavins suspected an issue with a tooth.
Kova open.
So she asked Kova to give her a closer look.
We could see that she had broken one of her canines, and there's any number of ways she could have done that.
Just to give you an idea what we're talking about, this is a replica of a polar bear skull, and the tooth in question is this one. It's the lower left canine.
This one is her broken tooth.
An X-ray confirmed the diagnosis and what needed to happen next.
We did consult with a specialist, a veterinary specialist outside of Alaska, sent him the x-rays, got some good advice, and then we went with a local doctor to do the work.
An endodontist who normally operates on humans was part of the large team that performed the root canal on the fully sedated 450-pound bear.
Everybody knew ahead of time what their role was and what to do and where to be, and it was so well planned out, and everybody worked so well together.
The procedure, she says, went as smooth as butter. And Kova,
she feels so much better,
is clearly back to having fun. Lauren Maxwell, Alaska's News Source.
You've been listening to the Alaska's News Source podcast. Subscribe to have the latest episodes delivered to your library automatically.